Hi everyone, I'm really excited that today I get to talk to you about immediate buyer payments and the changes in 2022 for your sales and ongoing. What you're going to see here, I'm going to walk through a deck that summarizes everything that is happening and do a little bit of a demo. This is intended to be training for immediate buyer payments and tell you everything that you need to know. You'll see a QR code on the screen. Feel free to go to it. I'll reference this demo auction throughout our sale. You feel free to register as a buyer, enter an auction, submit an add-on, and review your cart. I've gone through this in the past. Same exercise. The key is that when you review your cart, you're going to see some payment options, and I'll walk through that as we're talking here. I started throwing this into all of them. Prerequisites for using ShoWorks Auction and ultimately ShoWorks Agent that I'll touch on a little bit in this module is you need to make sure your computer is running at least Microsoft Office 2013, ShoWorks 2020 version 20.4.0. You can tell if you've got that if you have the Provision Auction button on the Cloud tab. You'll want to make sure you have an up-to-date web browser. We do recommend Chrome, 8 gigabytes of memory or more, and the operating system that comes with Microsoft Edge. When you're utilizing the system, it's always important to make sure you have administrative permissions on your computer to install and run the programs. If you don't have that information, you'll want to grab that login information from whomever has set up your computer. Okay, let's jump into immediate buyer payments. Immediate buyer payments are only available for transactions that originate in ShoWorks Auction. That means that if you are documenting and clerking transactions in ShoWorks 2020, they are not going to appear on the online auction site. So immediate buyer payments, we are talking specifically about the auction site and what appears on the cart when a buyer goes to check out. This is where you'll see that. When a buyer logs in, they will have a cart at the top of their page. And when they click that cart, they can see any committed bids that they've made, winning bids that they've made, any add-ons that they have placed, any processing fees, total amount due. If you are set up to pay with PayPal, you can see it with the PayPal button. Otherwise, you'll just see a credit card information at the bottom where they can fill that in. Payment is recorded in the buyer payment screen. This is in the admin site of your auction. You'll go to the menu on the left-hand side under buyer data and click on buyer payments. You'll see the following information that has a variety of details associated with the payments that are made, including their approved or declined status. You can export this information out into Excel. You'll notice here that it has an option, or it tells you which gateway was used. So typically a fair will set up with one particular gateway, and that will all be the same. In my case, I'm showing you a demo site, so you can see that some of my payments were submitted by PayPal and some via ShoWorks Auction. Payments cross over to ShoWorks 2020 via ShoWorks Agent. In 2022, ShoWorks Agent is the method that is used to pull data down from the internet and place it into your ShoWorks 2020 file. You run ShoWorks Agent on the same computer that you have your file that you are using, your master file. You open and install ShoWorks Agent, and then when you open Auction Monitor, click that button, you're going to see a iteration of notifications received. Whenever a payment is added into ShoWorks Auction, you will see a notification received that a payment was added, and that will go across and appear in ShoWorks 2020. You can see here in my buyer screen in ShoWorks 2020, I've done two examples. If the PayPal button is entered, then you'll see a recorded payment with a method of e-check for $500. And then also if a credit card is utilized, you'll see Visa in this case, and for the amount of $500. And it shows up on your buyer tab. And anytime you pull statements associated with that buyer, these buyer payment transactions appear on those statements. That's a general overview of how it works. I'm going to get down into the nitty-gritty now about the 2 different payment gateways that ShoWorks Auction offers. Historically, we've offered PayPal Pro as the only option. And now we are introducing ShoWorks Auction. So I am going to compare them side by side. We are introducing ShoWorks Auction, where ShoWorks Auction collects the monies on behalf of the fair. And at the conclusion of your sale, or the conclusion of your add-ons online, that is when our company, ShoWorks Cloud, will go through and we will pay you, the fair, via ACH, the amount that is owed and that was collected. I'm going to go through the details here. We were able to get down our ShoWorks Auction rate to 2.2% plus 15 cents per transaction. ShoWorks Auction allows for Visa, MasterCard, and Discover to be utilized. We will collect the monies on behalf of the fair, and we will pay you out via ACH. Comparatively, PayPal Pro incurs a fee of 3.2% plus 30 cents per transaction. This is inclusive of PayPal and the ShoWorks partner fee. PayPal button, Visa, MasterCard, Discover appear on the screen for your buyers, and the monies are deposited directly into your fair's account. Let me go through some examples of what that means. On a transaction of $10,000, you can see that an online payment fee paid by the buyer is going to be $225.10. In the PayPal situation, they're paying over $100 more for that transaction and $330.89. The payment to the fairs ultimately is calculated as follows. Actually, I'm going to jump to the next page and show you that so it's easier to digest. The ShoWorks Auction payouts, when we do the payout to the fair, it's going to be calculated as follows. We're going to actually take the total amount collected on behalf of the fair. We are going to take out any payment gateway fees. That's the 2.2% plus 15 cents per transaction. And then we are going to go ahead and take out the 1% ShoWorks Auction software costs that we would typically invoice you. That way that it's already handled and we don't have the back and forth of invoices and you're just getting payment from us. We're going to do those payouts at the time that your auction closes. We calculate payouts on Monday. So if your auction closes anytime between Tuesday and Sunday, it will have to wait until Monday for us to do that calculation. And then any additional payments collected after your close date, because in reality, you can leave your site available to buyers for them to go ahead and do payouts, even though your auction or add-on time is closed. Any additional payments collected after that close date, they'll be calculated on a weekly basis and sent to the fair via ACH. So all payouts are going to go through ACH. I'm going to show you where to put the information in so that we can gather that. On a PayPal front, deposits are made into your PayPal account. Please note that with a lot of our customers, we've discovered that PayPal may hold your funds. They have some new terms and policies in place. So one thing that we have asked for all of our customers to do when you're setting up PayPal is communicate directly with ShoWorks at paypal.com to make certain that they understand that you'll have a high volume of transactions because otherwise they may flag your account. You're tied to ShoWorks as a partner, but it's still important for you to communicate with them. Refunds, how are they handled? The ShoWorks Auction refunds can be submitted by the fair to our team utilizing our refund request form. That comes in the information we give you if you choose to set up ShoWorks Auction refunds. It's also available on our knowledge base. Refunds for PayPal are handled by the customer contacting the fair, and y'all initiate those refunds directly in the PayPal account. You do not need to, please note that in both cases, refunds do not include the refund of the online payment gateway fees. Things to consider just as you are thinking about implementing immediate buyer payments. Adjustments can appear in ShoWorks Auction after adjustments have been applied to the sales invoice in ShoWorks 2020, and then the provision button is pressed and push that data to the auction site. So we get a lot of questions if we handle adjustments. Yes, we do, if you apply that to the sales invoice and have it pushed forward. Another thing to consider is we do offer an overarching percentage fair fee that can be applied on the auction site to be charged to anyone who pays through the auction site. You would need to set up a mirroring fee in ShoWorks 2020. And ShoWorks Auction does not take into consideration flooring. This is really important for quite a few of you. If the majority of your lots are floored, you should consider not enabling immediate buyer payments for winning bids in the auction site and bill them from ShoWorks 2020. You have the ability to mark a lot as floored utilizing the spotter tool in the auction site. However, ShoWorks 2020 already has all of the logic built in for calculating the flooring. So we left it that way and allow you to just continue to use the billing features in ShoWorks 2020 specifically for those floored lots. Let's go ahead and jump over into the configuring and ShoWorks Auction Admin, what it actually looks like. We've tried to build the window so that it's very self-explanatory, that everything I've just talked through is going to make sense as you're setting it up in the system. Let me jump pages. Here we go. I'm in my demo site and I've gone into fair setup. Typically I tell people just go all the way down the left-hand side to make sure you have everything set up. Immediate payment settings is where I'm going to be focused. At the very top, it has enable the immediate buyer payments features and configure payment gateways. There's a support article that explains all the details about this if you're needing to learn more while you're in the moment and kind of forget everything you might have just learned in this training, which is totally fine. It's a great reference article. Enable immediate buyer payments. You'll look at this. This allows the buyers to immediately process their payments directly in our public site. If this check mark is off, they're not allowed to do that. So they'll still have the cart so they can see a summary of what they have purchased, but they would not be able to do payments. We now have the ability to select which transactions buyer payments apply to. You can tick that you can include winning bids, consortium bids, or add-ons. If you untick these boxes, then only add-ons, because it is checked, will be enabled for immediate buyer payments. I know so many of you are utilizing the auction site for your clerking, but you have a lot of flooring and you don't want people to pay out on this auction site for those winning bids, but you do want them to pay out their add-ons. So this is how you configure that going forward. The fair fee percentage that you'll see, this is specific to if you have an overarching amount that you typically charge your buyers. A lot of you have this as 0, but some of you charge your buyers a percentage for participating in the auction, and that's where this would get placed. You would need to go back into ShoWorks 2020 and put a mirroring adjustment on those transactions that the buyers are paying. So you can make this applicable to winning bids, consortium bids, or add-ons. Those are our 3 different transaction types. So however you choose to set that up, that's where you'll see that. Online payment fee coverage. I think this is one of the most important flags that you have in the admin site. You have 2 choices. You can let the buyer cover all of the online payment fees. That means that the fare is paid out the full amount that was committed by the buyer, and the buyer's covering any fees associated with PayPal or ShoWorks Auction. ShoWorks Auction being that 2.2% plus 15 cents, and PayPal Pro being that 3.2% plus 30 cents. Or some of you are very generous and y'all cover the online fees for your buyers. And if in that case, set up the fare covers online payment fees, the buyer only pays the listed price. So that is what that is used for in those cases. You're going to jump down, and this is where you're going to select your actual payment gateway. The first option that you'll have is ShoWorks Auction. We put some reminders about what ShoWorks Auction includes. It includes the collection of payments through your sale that are going to ShoWorks Auction, and at the close of your sale, we'll be depositing those funds into your bank account. Offers buyers the option for credit debit card payment. All payments via this option incur the 2.2% plus 15 cents per transaction fee. The fees can be passed on to the buyers, as I just showed you. When you first go to this, you'll have an agree to ShoWorks Auction gateway. You'll have to tick that button and click the agree. You'll put in your billing department email right here. So some of you are large enough that you have separate departments or a separate email address that might address your accounting. And what we're looking for in that billing department email is who do we need to email to get the ACH information from, and who would we be corresponding with in order to make sure that that ACH goes through properly. Once you have that entered, you click save at the bottom, and that saves all of these features and now makes it available on your auction site. I am going to just select everything really quickly. I am going to log in on the auction site. Let me pick someone that I know has a few transactions against them already. Let's go with Max. I'm going to agree to my terms and conditions and click sign in. At the top on my cart, I can see, oh, Max has been very busy with lots of winning bids and some add-ons. You're going to see a winning bids subtotal, an add-ons total. You'll have a final subtotal, which is the sum of all of those things. Online payment fee for the remaining balance. This is based on the gateway that you chose. And then the final balance due. Because ShoWorks Auction was selected, this is where I can select, the buyer can go in and enter their information, putting their card type, card number, all of their billing address, and pay with card. Please note that we do not store this information. This is not something that we do. We are actually being powered by authorized.net. So all data goes through their particular API, and that's what we're using there. So some of you ask if we have that credit card information. We do not. That is not something that we store. Going back to the admin site, you'll see if I were to select payment gateway and choose PayPal, this is where you can connect to PayPal Pro. All of the funds will be deposited into your PayPal Pro account directly, this gives the buyer the option for the PayPal button. Let me just click save and jump over, do a little refresh on the buyer site. You'll see that that PayPal button is the difference. Again, we do not store any of this credit card data. This is now the PayPal API, and everything is being entered through PayPal. When you go through this payment gateway setup for PayPal, you need to enter your PayPal email and your PayPal merchant ID. We have very specific instructions on where to find that merchant ID. That merchant ID is an alphanumeric number, and it is not anything associated with your fair name. PayPal uses the term merchant ID very haphazardly, I would say, because there's multiple things that they call a merchant ID, but you're looking for an alphanumeric button there. You'll go through the very first time, you'll opt in as a merchant. It's going to say that's going to take you to an outside PayPal window. You will connect just the same way as if you were logging in to your PayPal account, utilizing that email and proceeding through the next windows. What that is doing for you is it is connecting your PayPal account to your auction site in order to be able to accept those payments. So all of those steps do need to be completed, and then you'll hit save. One other thing that handles all of the setup associated with it. If you are utilizing PayPal, we do recommend that you start that conversation with PayPal early. As far as ShoWorks Auction, we're set up and ready to go. So if you're in a pinch and you just want to be able to accept payments, you can go ahead and simply choose ShoWorks Auction, and payments will be available to be collected. I showed this in a previous window, but under buyer data, buyer payments, this is where you'll see the buyer payments that are being made, the amounts and the gateway fees that were paid, and the buyer numbers. So just giving you a heads up, that's where that is located. And that's that. Let me jump back over to the presentation that I had. The very final thing that I wanted to show you is if you are utilizing our knowledge base, it is a great, fantastic resource for you. We have tried to do step-by-step instructions. The very first, when you go to the page, you can navigate into integration points that we have under payment gateways, and then you'll see payments. We have immediate buyer payments through the auction site, which describes everything I've just talked about. And then you have ShoWorks Auction payments. This is specific to how ShoWorks Auction payments are handled. Then you have PayPal payments. So that's specific to how PayPal payments are handled. The two subsequent articles are one-time setup for buyer payments with PayPal Pro, and then you have PayPal troubleshooting. If you click in there, you'll also see some refund articles as well. I hope you have found this very informational. We're excited to be launching our ShoWorks Auction payments. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to reach out to us at support@showworkscloud.com.